Hi, my name is Wietse, and I'm a software engineer at Google. I'm here today to talk about Cloud Run. Don't worry, this will not be just another itemized list of features. I know you have a real application to build and actual users to support. Coming out of this video, you'll know exactly what types of workloads are a great fit for Cloud Run. For those who might be unfamiliar, Cloud Run is a fully managed platform that enables you to run your code directly on top of Google's scalable infrastructure. Cloud Run is simple and automated. You don't have to provision infrastructure in advance or manage a cluster. We designed Cloud Run to make sure you are more productive and can move faster. You can deploy code written in any programming language on Cloud Run if you can put it in a container. However, manually creating a container image is optional. If your code is written in Go, Node.js, Python, Java, .NET Core, or Ruby, you can use the source-based deployment option that builds the container for you, using the best practices for the language you're using. There are two ways to run your code on Cloud Run. The first way is a Cloud Run service. It's used for running code that responds to web requests or events. The second way, Cloud Run Jobs, is used to run code that performs work, a job, and stops when that work is done. Examples include running database migrations or generating invoices. Both services and jobs run in the same environment on Cloud Run and can use the same integrations with Google Cloud. When you need a database, secret management, file storage, message queues, and many other features, Cloud Run works well together with the other services on Google Cloud. And integrations are important because they allow you to build interesting applications. I dive deeper into integrations later in this video. I also want to talk a little about Cloud Run's pricing structure. First, there is the generous free tier, and for most casual development work, you're not charged at all. Outside of the free tier, you're charged on a pay-per-use basis. By default, you don't pay for idle capacity. You're charged for exactly the CPU and memory used, billed to the nearest 100 milliseconds. Previously, I mentioned the two ways to run your code in Cloud Run: services and jobs. Now I will get more in depth, starting with Cloud Run services. A service is used for running code that responds to web requests or events. And here are a few concrete examples of workloads that run great on Cloud Run using a service. First, websites and web applications. Build your web app using your favorite stack, access your SQL database, and render dynamic HTML pages. Second, APIs and microservices. You can build a REST API, a gRPC API, or a GraphQL API. You can make them public or create private microservices. And finally, event-driven architectures and streaming data processing. Cloud Run services can receive messages from Cloud PubSub, requests from Cloud Tasks, and events from EventArc. Now let's look at the key features: web serving, autoscaling, and traffic management. Every Cloud Run service is provided with an HTTPS endpoint on a unique subdomain of the run.app domain. And you should note that you can also create custom domains. Cloud Run handles all incoming requests and events by starting one or more container instances. Your responsibility is to make sure your code listens on a TCP port and handles web requests. Let's talk about another key thing that Cloud Run services handle for you: autoscaling. Cloud Run automatically increases capacity when necessary to make sure it handles all incoming requests. Every service has an internal load balancer, and this load balancer distributes requests over the group of available containers. If all containers are busy, Cloud Run adds additional containers to the service. As soon as the demand decreases again, Cloud Run stops sending traffic to some containers and shuts them down. The number of container instances in a Cloud Run service is limited to 1,000 instances by default. If you need even more, you can submit a request for a quota increase. Another thing I really like about Cloud Run services is that traffic management is a built-in feature. Every deployment creates a new, immutable revision. You can route incoming traffic to the latest revision, roll back to a previous revision, or split traffic to multiple revisions at the same time to perform a gradual rollout. A gradual rollout is useful if you want to reduce the risk of rolling out a new revision of your app. If you start by sending just 1% of traffic to your new revision and notice a higher error rate for that revision, you can stop the rollout. In this case, many users won't be impacted. Now that I've given you the highlights of Cloud Run services, let's look at Cloud Run jobs. If your code performs work and then stops, a script is a good example, you can execute a Cloud Run job to run your code. Here are some example use cases that run great on Cloud Run jobs. Running a script to perform database migrations or other operational tasks. Highly parallelized processing of all files in a cloud storage bucket. Creating and sending invoices every month. Saving the results of a database query as XML and uploading the file every 4 hours. I want to highlight one feature of Cloud Run jobs that is very useful if you like to get results fast. A job can start one container instance to run your code, and that's a common way to run a script or a tool. However, you can also start many identical independent container instances in parallel, an array job. Array jobs are a faster way to process jobs that can be split up into multiple independent tasks. Let's look at an example where this can be useful. If you're reading 1000 images from cloud storage to resize and crop them, processing them consecutively will be slower than processing them in parallel with many container instances. If you're concerned that one of those instances could fail in its processing, you can also configure a number of retries, or if an instance does not complete successfully, it will start again. If you're thinking about other use cases, the key word to remember here is independent processing. There's no way for container instances to communicate with one another. But if you can split up your job into multiple independent subtasks, an array job can be much faster. The power of Cloud Run is in the integrations with the broader ecosystem on Google Cloud. Before we wrap this video up, let's go through the most useful integrations. It's hard to think of a web application that doesn't need to store data. For data persistence, Cloud Run integrates with Cloud SQL, that's managed MySQL, PostgreSQL, and SQL Server. Memory Store, that's Redis and Memcached. Firestore, which is a document store. Cloud Spanner and AlloyDB for horizontally scalable relational databases. And Cloud Storage, which offers reliable blob storage. It's also convenient to call Google Cloud APIs from Cloud Run. If you use the official client library, it automatically authenticates to those APIs using your Cloud Run services built-in service account. Popular Google Cloud APIs that you might be familiar with include the Vision API, Speech-to-Text API, Cloud Natural Language API, and the Cloud Translation API. Cloud Run creates a default HTTPS URL for every service you create. That's very convenient. However, you might want to use your own custom domain. And that's where the integration with Firebase hosting comes in. Use it to improve the performance of your Cloud Run service with caching on their global content delivery network and easily set up your custom domain. Cloud Tasks is another useful integration. You can use Cloud Tasks to run code outside of a user request, asynchronously. And most applications have a use case like this. Examples include processing an uploaded file, or regenerating a search index after you've updated a few records. Cloud Run makes it easy to do the right thing and store application secrets, like API keys or database passwords in Secret Manager. Cloud Run can provide the secrets to your code, exposed using environment variables, or mounted as a volume. So, to wrap up, Workloads that run well on Cloud Run services are websites and web applications, APIs and microservices, event-driven architectures, and streaming data processing. Cloud Run Jobs is there to help you run scripts and schedule recurring jobs. A very powerful feature is that jobs can process many independent tasks in parallel with array jobs. Cloud Run integrates well with other products in Google Cloud, allowing you to build interesting applications. Cloud Run is the simplest way to deploy your app on Google Cloud. Thank you for listening. I'm looking forward to seeing what you will build.